Welcome to the Beyond The Banter Podcast. I'm here with special guest today, Coach Dice. He is the creator of the Dice Doubloon. Break me off a piece of that fourth 9 weeks, the Sprint to Summer Challenge. Marvel and DC connoisseur, my 10th grade history teacher, football coach, and friend, Mr. Jeremy Dice. How you doing, Coach Dice?
Hey, Chase. It's good to be back. Again, I had fun last time, and
Yeah,
look.
even though no one heard the last one.
Yeah, even though no one's heard it and we had technical difficulties, it was out of blast.
Yeah, you'll hear it. It'll be like a little prequel, like our little,
Yeah.
So we got a lot to talk about today, but before we get started, do you watch basketball any, like NBA?
Not lately. I watch the finals some. I keep up with it. Who's good, and I keep up with it on a regular basis, but I don't have a ton of time to sit down and watch it. But a lot's been going on in the NBA, though.
Oh my gosh, that's what I want to talk about. Is like, there's been some stuff going on.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. I think it's gonna make the NBA a more parity-driven league instead of just
definitely.
It's gonna be the Warriors and when LeBron was with the Cavs.
Yeah, way better. But
yeah, probably 12 teams that can vie for the title now.
Yeah. Oh my God, it literally can be anybody now at this point.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
So, did you see what happened last night? Or yesterday?
Yeah, with Westbrook.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a Thunder fan.
I just don't know.
So
the Thunder are gonna have a crap ton of draft picks for the next
they're totally
century.
rebuilding like crazy.
It is. I mean, I guess I get why they do it. I mean, but the thing is, the NBA draft is so much different than the NFL, in my opinion. Like, it's so hit or miss in the NBA draft. You only get the 2 rounds also. But NFL, there's every year you got kids that are, coming out in the 7th round or even undrafted that make a difference in the league. And the NBA is just not like that. I mean, yes, there's been the some 2nd round picks that do well and undrafted, but it's not as common in the NBA.
Kawhi Leonard was like that,
Yeah, I think Draymond wasn't Draymond was a 2nd round pick.
I think.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good 2nd round picks, just not as prevalent in the NBA. But I just don't know how Westbrook's and Harden are gonna I don't know how well that's gonna mesh.
Apparently, they say that they both wanted to come back together. Like, that's what they said. I can't really see that, but I think what may have happened. I think after like Paul George decided to leave, because at that point it's just like they did everything they could and they still didn't get past the 1st round. So I think Paul George wanted to go back to LA and he went with Kawhi, which was like the craziest thing.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
And so now it's like the Battle of LA and all that stuff going on. But like Westbrook was probably just like, you know what? I mean, because it was like he found out apparently that they were going to trade him. They tried to trade him at one point, and he was like, well, no, it's probably just best if I just leave now. He's not got a lot of time left. I mean, he's 30, but I mean, still, you want to win titles now.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, Westbrook will never win a title if he doesn't change his game, like the way he plays.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I think what happened, he just like him and Hard probably talked a little bit, and we're just like, hey man, they probably had a talk. Was like, I had to I want to win a title. I've done all this triple double stuff. I want to win a title now. I want to.
And with the Rockets have been so close the past few years with the Warriors, and one thinks the Warriors will be down next year with no Durant anymore. Then Clay's probably going to miss most of the season. I mean, that I still don't. People are writing the Warriors off. I mean, granted, I don't think they will win the championship next year, but I think they'll definitely get in the playoffs and could be trouble for some teams. But so getting that dynamic player to go with Harden, since Chris Paul is kind of aging out, I still don't like. I still got a feeling like if I was a betting man, I'd probably bet that the Thunder are gonna like buy out Chris Paul or something, and Chris Paul is gonna end up on like the Lakers.
I think that's what's gonna happen too. I don't think he's gonna stay at OKC very long.
Nah, I don't either. I don't see that happening.
They do say like there's a lot of people that have said this, like in the NBA, people that play with Chris Paul. They said he's like the worst teammate to play with.
Yeah, I've heard he's pretty tough to deal with.
Yeah,
I think he's just very demanding.
Yeah,
and nothing wrong with being as a coach, you like to see a guy that expects a lot from his teammates to a point.
Yeah, But I heard like in the locker room too, he's just been like a jerk.
Yeah.
I've heard that. It was kind of weird. I would never expected that, really.
I know he seems like a real stand-up guy, especially on the State Farm commercials.
Yeah. But Yeah, so I just thought that was like crazy last night how the NBA just this postseason has just been like
Oh yeah,
historic.
it's been pretty crazy. Like you said, definitely think it's going to make the NBA better next year. Kind of actually looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
We sat down and like I said, I watched the finals, and I've been trying like to get Logan, my son. He loves football, like he loves it so much.
Yeah.
Just no matter what game on, he gets so vested in that game. And I just knew he would love watching basketball, but he's always like, nah, I don't want to watch it. And he likes to play basketball. But one day we were watching like a game in the NCAA tournament, a Duke game, and he was super into it. And I was like, hey, you should watch this more. You'd like it. No. So the NBA finals were on. I said, let's just watch it for a little bit. And him and Ella, both my daughter, were both just super into it. And they only got to watch one more game, and then the Raptors won it all. So I was like, I'm sorry, bud. Y'all came in right at the end of the year.
Dang, they could have saw something good, something great, man.
Yeah.
But I think they'll watch it eventually.
Oh yeah, I think we'll be more into it next year because he's going to recall enjoying it.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. Golly, man, some crazy stuff going on. I'll actually watch the regular season a lot more.
Oh yeah,
the regular season, like the thing about NBA to me is just like it's like the games don't really matter as much when you watch them.
It's stupid long. You know,
Yeah.
like, do you need 82 games?
That's what I'm saying.
Like when they had that, was it the strike shortened year? They played like 65 games. Granted, 65 games is a lot, but it seemed like a better season because, you know, the
games matter more.
Yeah, I think they should. I know they're never going to do it because you'll take money out of the owners' pockets by reducing the number of games played, but it would definitely, I think, benefit them. And obviously, baseball playing 162 games is just ignorant, I think.
Oh my God, yeah. That's one sport I cannot watch. I can watch golf, tennis. I can watch all those sports. I cannot watch baseball from like.
It's
really
pretty
hard to watch to me.
It's very hard to watch. I agree. Fun to play, but yeah. Football's still king, though.
Oh yeah. In terms of like to me watching
watchability,
football. Yeah. Well, actually, like to me, nobody else is gonna agree with this. Like especially here in the South, just in America in general. But to me, tennis, like after playing it and being invested in it so long, and like knowing stuff, it's so much fun to watch. To me, to me, it's the funnest sport to watch, especially when you get around to Wimbledon time. Like now we have Federer versus Nadal going on right now. I haven't watched it yet, but it's crazy. You know, just like when you see something historic. It's not fun all the time. Like, just it's not all the
time. Well, that's with any sport. Though. Sometimes you watch a football game and it's miserable when you got a 3-0 game going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Unless you're a fan of the defense, which I'm an offensive guy. So
especially when I was watching, the Browns used to suck and stuff. Whenever they play a team like Tennessee, I don't know, I didn't care. I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Unless they win somehow, but now they're really good. Not really good, but I mean, now they got
potential. Scary word there.
Hey, I think not this season, but I think the next season, I'm gonna predict it. I think the Browns are gonna win the Super Bowl.
Really?
Not this season. The next season.
All right, I'm gonna remember this.
Okay. I think
the 2020 Super Bowl. Well, I guess that would be, but the 2020 season Super Bowl. You're predicting the Cleveland Browns to win the Super Bowl. All right.
I think they'll miss the playoffs by a little bit this year, and then they'll get some more players, and they're gonna win the Super Bowl. It's gonna be this big thing.
Football is obviously I'm a football coach, so I feel differently about football probably than a lot of people. It's the ultimate team game because it takes a combined effort for those 11 men on the field, and to bring in so many new pieces like they did this year, it's probably going to be tough to win immediately. I think they'll probably get in the playoffs this year, just because talent-wise they're going to have a lot of talent, and obviously talent is a big key in winning. So I think they'll get in there some way this year, and I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl or anything, but I think they're heading in the right directions, which it's nice to see a franchise that's been so down for so many years.
Yeah, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah,
I am. Yeah. All right. So.
But still, Saints number one though.
The Saints have been just wrong the past.
Oh, I know. It's like karma is just out to get them. Like they're 0-1. Come on, world. The football gods need to shine upon them.
I know.
Bless them with a Super Bowl one more time before Drew Brees leaves.
My dad is like a huge Saints fan. Whenever I was watching that game, last game with him, the game before that, the Minnesota one was worse. So I mean,
my goodness, yeah.
He literally didn't say anything. Usually he screams, but this time he just went to his room, and it was kind of sad. And the last one, he really just screamed at the refs. Was like, what are you doing? No.
It's awful. Like, I mean, it's egregious. You know.
I know.
I'm gonna get mad about it.
The Saints versus the Patriots would have been a way better Super Bowl than
yeah, I agree.
To me, way
I think
better.
they would have got those Patriots too.
I think so too. I think they could have done something.
Yeah. This is their year, though. We're gonna do it this year.
Yeah, hey, I'm rooting for them. You know, my Cowboys. I don't know about them this year. I don't know what they're gonna do. It's always a toss-up. You think they're gonna do good? They do something like they don't really perform that well. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, something great happens. So I'm just no high hopes for them right now. I'm just gonna watch. And be like, you know, if they do good, I'm really happy. If they win the Super Bowl, I'll probably cry. So. You know.
Well, I cannot say I will be rooting for the Cowboys because I grew up a Cowboys hater. So.
Oh yeah, well I know plenty of Cowboys haters, so I'm not used to that.
They've grown on me since getting Dak, you know, so they seem a little more likable.
I'm a big Romo supporter. Like
Romo's a good dude. He's awesome in the booth too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people were like he absolutely sucked, but like those last years when he got hurt, he did really really good. Like he was. Like we were like playoff like Super Bowl contenders. Like,
yeah.
Like, the dead
very
catch,
underrated player.
Catch. That year we could have like that was one of our best years, and like he was doing really good. That was a really good throw. I mean, and he caught it. The refs just were like, "Oh, it's not a catch," but I don't know. Don't get me started on those years.
Yeah, it could be brings back bad memories just thinking about.
All right, so let's change the subject because we've been talking about sports for.
All right, so Stranger Things.
I don't even watch that show, but everybody's
dude, are you serious?
3. Yeah, I've only seen like the first 3 episodes of the first season.
Man, it's such a great show. You
and
gotta watch that.
Everybody's talking about like that the never-ending story. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's pretty good. So put that on your to watch list too. So yeah. Daredevil, Stranger Things, Punisher. You know.
Oh God, I got so much to catch up on.
Yeah, you better get busy, man. Summer's almost up.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So let's talk about a little movie that just came out, Spider-Man: Far From Home. So like, first of all, what did you think? The overall thoughts of the movie. What did you think about it?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film. I thought it was good storytelling throughout. I like how they came in and introduced Mysterio, like in that first scene in the opening of the movie where he pops in to take on the Sandman looking monster.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was really well done. I'm trying to think. I had a complaint about something. I just can't remember what it was. But for the most part, it flowed well. And like all along, we talked last time about how, you know, we knew Mysterio was going to be evil. I mean, just if you watched any of the cartoons or read any of the comics, you knew it was going to happen. Yeah. And it happened as soon as he was talked about, here, try on the glass. I was also like, oh, no, he's about to turn bad right now, Pete. What are you doing? And sure enough.
I had the feeling, too.
Yeah, and Jake Gyllenhaal was awesome. I really hope that he comes back in another one because he played the character perfectly. Thought the action was good. It was cool to see all the different Spider-Man suits. I'm a big fan of, you know, any kind of changing of the uniform or you know, super suits or armors or whatever. So that was cool to see. And then obviously the post-credit scenes is what really took it over the top for me because I was a little like at the end of the movie, I was like, that was good, not great. You know, it was no complaints. Yeah. It was a good MCU movie. And then those credit scenes, I was like, okay, this was a great movie.
Yeah.
So what about you? Excuse me.
I'm a little like it's I didn't think it was good. I thought it was freaking fantastic. Like like that movie it literally blew me away, this movie, like to me. I was going into it expecting like a Homecoming type deal. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Homecoming, I liked it, but it felt like it was something missing. It didn't feel like a complete Spider-Man
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
It felt like an Iron Man Jr. movie to me. And I don't know. I felt like there was something missing. So when I went into this, I went into that with the same mindset I was going to get like another Homecoming. I started to get more of like a Spider-Man kind of feel, and I really enjoyed it. Mysterio, I love the way they deal with him. You know, they went straight from the comics of him, like, well, not straight from it, because in the comics he's like a movie, like he tries to get into movies like special effects, and he doesn't make it.
Now I know, I'm trying to think if it was, I may be wrong. I know I've been wrong before on these little talks we've had, but I was reading something the other day, and in one of the, I want to say one of his early, he introduced himself as a hero. You know, so but again, the movie. It was a little different there because he was a special effects dude in the comics, you know, and in the cartoons. So I still like the way that they connect it to Barf, you know.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. And I mean, it's almost like how many are they gonna run out of ways to tie it back into Tony eventually?
Yeah,
everything's too connected to Tony. That's probably the one thing the little montage they did, the speech that Mysterio was giving to all the people that had been wronged by Tony Stark. That was kind of neat. Then it went on a little too long almost.
Yeah.
But it was still really cool. It made sense to do it. And it all tied so well together with the death of Iron Man and how it's affecting everybody and how everybody, or not just the heroes, but also the people that were wronged by Iron Man.
I agree that it does a little bit. I mean, it can be a little bit too much connecting to Tony, but I think when you have a movie that's right after Endgame, you kind of have to do that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
you kind of have to have that, especially with Peter. You know, like it made sense that he was struggling and like over him and was needing like a guide in a way, and how everything connected to Tony. I feel like it made sense in this film. Now, if they do it again in Spider-Man 3, then I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah,
all right, that's enough. That's enough.
This is getting a little bit too much. But I think in this movie, it fits good. I think it does. But,
I agree. I didn't dislike it at all, but a part of me was like, all right, let's kind of steer away from Tony. But like you said, it had to connect, and they did a good job at connecting it. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think so too. So you said about the suits, right? You said you like the suits. What did you think? Like, what was your favorite one? Like, out of the whole movie, like, there's like 3 kind of suits.
I liked his the last suit he was in, the black and red one.
Me too.
Yeah, it was a very cool design. Had some new gadgets. The night monkey one. I got a good chuckle at that one. Of course, they had the Iron Spiders are cool one.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one, to be honest.
Really, yeah, it's way different from the comics.
It's too techy to me. I don't like that him having tech like that.
Oh, just FYI, just got an alert. Roger Federer defeated Nadal in 4 sets.
Don't tell me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hadn't watched it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to know.
No.
Okay.
I'm so sad. I'm gonna be so sad now. Nadal's like my favorite player now. I'm gonna be so upset the rest of the podcast.
I'm sorry. I thought you wanted. You didn't say you would record it. You were gonna watch it. I just thought you.
Well, I mean, I said I was gonna watch it after this.
I'm sorry, my bad.
It's okay.
Okay, it was a joke. It was a joke. It didn't happen. Okay,
I'm still gonna watch it anyway. I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah.
But,
my bad.
Dang, that sucks.
So what was the suits. The black one was cool. It was real cool in the film when he was on the jet building his own suit. It was kind of because Spider-Man he's never had Tony stuff except for the Iron Spider in the comics. So it was kind of cool to see him putting the work in to make his own suit, and it was a dang good suit too.
Yeah, I agree, because I think what was missing in Homecoming for me too was the fact that they didn't show how smart Peter actually is as a kid. And I think when he was using Tony's technology, but he was doing it like he understood it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he understood how to use it. He showed how smart he was, and he made his own suit. I knew know how long I've been waiting for them to do that in the MCU, because I'm like, Spider-Man needs to make his own stuff. Like, I don't want people giving him suits. I want him to make his own suit, because that's how smart Peter Parker actually is. And I think
I agree.
I love that when that happened, and then like he said, Happy said, I'll turn on the music, and then they played back in black like an Iron Man 1, and he's like, I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was a good scene. I liked it a lot. He was looking at Peter when he was making the suit, kind of like like this is how Tony used to do it back in the day. In a way, he's doing it in a better way than Tony did, because he's learning from Tony's mistakes also, being a better version of him. So I think I like that scene a lot when he's making it.
Oh yeah, it was real cool.
And speaking of the Night Monkey, did you catch the joke when he was in the Night Monkey suit and Nick was like, well, he said, how's the suit? And he's like, it's good. It's a little tight around the web shooter. Did you get
I don't recall catching. I can't think of it. I get it though. It's pretty funny.
It was hilarious when I first caught it because I didn't get it at first. I was like, it took me like a minute. I started laughing out in the theater. Not a lot of people got it in my theater apparently, or they just didn't think it was funny. But it was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did you think of Edith? Even dead hero.
I thought it was pretty cool. I was expecting when he put the glasses on, the AI was going to be Tony talking.
Oh, that would have been cool.
That's what I was really rooting for. Yeah. But it was cool. It's kind of weird. I guess. I don't know. I could see it being a problem in the future films. Obviously it fell in the wrong hands in this one. Saw what they could do with it. It kind of reminds me of like the from Winter Soldier with the Triskelions, and they just take people out. Yeah, so it's kind of the same premise. Yeah, it is. So when they first said you got access to his satellite, I was just thinking, okay, you can get info and stuff. I didn't realize there was going to be drones that could come kill people.
Yeah, I didn't know he had like that much power. He's like that to a kid, in high school. To give him the power to kill people through drones. But he is Spider-Man. I don't know. But, I thought it was pretty cool. It made for a funny scene in the bus when he almost killed. I forgot that kid's name, but he almost killed that dude. That was.
That was pretty good. That was.
I honestly love that scene though when he goes into that little bar and that woman's like, take off your clothes, and he takes off his clothes, and then he walks in there and he's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, that was well done. That was well done.
Yeah.
If you want to hook up with some stranger, that's fine. I'm telling MJ about it. That's a joke move, guy. You know.
I know. That was such a bad but what's funny about that is it felt such like a high school problem.
Yeah.
When you're in high school, like, just something goes wrong like that, and someone takes a picture of you, like, no, don't send that picture. No.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a high school thing to worry about. That's what it kind of reminded me of when I was watching it. It kind of made me laugh, the relatability of it. Not saying I've done that. But
no, I get what you mean. It definitely seems like a high school issue.
Yeah. What did you think of MJ?
I liked her. Obviously, different. She's a different type of MJ. Than what the comics, but I thought they had good chemistry together. I didn't feel like it was too forced on us, in the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. It felt very, all right, this is, here's MJ. She's got to be thrown into the story all the time. So I like that they did it that way instead of shoving her down your throat, basically. But no, I enjoyed it, the dynamic between the two. What about you?
So they said that she isn't Mary Jane. Like, she's completely different. They said that she's not Mary Jane. I think they're just doing the MJ thing to, like, pay homage to Mary Jane.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're ever going to see Mary Jane. I mean, I would love to because she's my favorite Spider-Man, like, love interest.
Mm-hmm.
The hey, Tiger, that all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, she's a completely different character than that. Like, this Michelle Jones, and, that's her name. She's completely different. She's not Mary Jane at all. I mean, she's like the opposite, really, of the Mary Jane we all know. So I mean, it isn't like I'm not like upset that she's not like Mary Jane because she's not Mary Jane. So
right.
But I actually end up really liking her a lot in this film
because
in Homecoming I did not like her at all. She was like my least favorite character. Well, her and Flash, because.
Yeah, I do not like Flash.
Yeah, me either.
That's not that guy's never going to be Agent Venom,
No, I can never see that. Unless there's something I can see them doing, but I don't know yet. But I think I like MJ a lot more in this film because in Homecoming, she was such... I do not know why Peter liked her. At the beginning of this film, I was like, dude, why do you like her so much? Because she was like, oh, whatever, I'm just I don't know. She's like, whatever. Like, I don't know. She's just like... She's just rude to everyone. Like, she was even to Peter. She's just like, I don't care. Like, where you going, Peter? I don't care. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It was like, why do you like her? But now, like, after seeing that she's it's kind of like a defense mechanism in a way for her.
That's a good way to explain.
Yeah, she actually is kind of like this sweet girl, you know what I'm saying? But she just hides it all behind that. She don't know how to get close to people. I thought that was I love that a lot when she said that, you know, when her and Peter were talking. I thought it actually worked really well. I actually liked what they did with that, and I thought she was actually a really good fit for Peter. You know, this version of Peter Parker, I think they fit really well together. And I love that scene of them swinging through New York. That was probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I want to see Spider-Man. I want to see like this. I want to see Tom Holland like go through New York and like do his like classic Spider-Man stuff. And then when he got her and then he was swinging through like New York, it just put a big smile on my face. 'Cause I was just like, man, this is what I want.
It was because that's what all the Spider-Man movies have had previously was the classic scene of him going through the web slinging through the city. So it was cool to see in the MCU.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And on top of that, when you know the end credit scene showed what happened at the end of that, I flipped out. I mean, I literally because I heard rumors about them doing a J. Jonah Jameson, and I was like, they can't do it without J.K. Simmons. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
He is
Jonah Jameson.
And like when he when I heard the name Daily Bugle, I was like, no way, no, they're not gonna do that, no. And then all of a sudden it went Spider-Man, and I was like, well, I just like flipped out. Me and my dad went to the movies, and like he just looked at me because he had no idea like who that was. And he looked at me like I was just flipping out my chair. I was looking at everybody around me. I was like, do they know what's happening right now? Do they know the history that's being made right now?
Yeah, the guy in front of me in the theater stood up and was like, yeah! Kind of startled my kids, but it was all good. I mean, it was pretty awesome.
That was a bold move, but it's the right move.
Oh, definitely the right move. I loved it. Yeah.
And on top of that, you know, the whole Mysterio like having that plan. Like it's always like he's always one up in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's such a classic Spider-Man thing to do, and it's like whenever there's a Spider-Man movie or like cartoon or anything, it's always the villains are always like one up in Spider-Man all the time.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Joker and Batman, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And when that happened, I was just like, this is incredible. This is not even. This goes beyond MCU movie to me. This is like I felt like it was actually like not an MCU movie, but a Spider-Man movie. That's when I first realized
it did feel like a real Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And yes, it had the callbacks to Avengers stuff and the snap or the blip.
The blip.
And yeah. But it was I agree. It was well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Love the J.K. Simmons.
Oh my gosh, dude. I had that image in my head so much of me just like loving that in the theater. Just being
I really hope for the third film that he's back in a stronger role. I don't know if you want to talk about some theories.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really hoping that it goes a certain way. Yeah. With him as a prominent role in that.
Well, okay. We'll get to the theories, I guess, at the end, or we can do it towards the end because we got a lot to talk about. But because I had some theories of my own too. I think that may happen. I'm not sure. I'm not like I haven't researched it, but like I just in my head I have like the theories of what I think's gonna happen.
Like all fans do.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole the name reveal? Like, what do you think of that?
The name? When they outed him as Spider-Man?
Yeah, Peter Parker. Like when they're like,
okay,
Peter Parker.
That was my mouth like dropped. I was like, holy crap, they did it.
I know.
And, like because Peter's like Spider-Man's secret identity is his thing. You know.
Yeah.
There was the one in the Civil War comic. You know, he outed himself, but then Doctor Strange went and erased everybody's memory or whatever. I can't remember how it played out, but that was like a big deal. Like, what is he going to do? And it was a good callback to Iron Man 1 when he outs himself, but he outs himself, not a villain, you know, doing it. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I think it's going to lead into a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And I was looking at some of the stuff the director said. He said he hoped he didn't paint himself in a corner with this one.
Also,
but
what were you saying?
I said it was bold. You know, it was a bold move. But I like that it was the, you know, like I got you, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. That was like my favorite part of it. Was like they didn't go for the happy ending. They went for the what is he gonna do? It's kinda
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
To me, that's very much Spider-Man. It's always like, dang, Peter Parker's got to figure out a lot of stuff out.
and it's a way to get the people against him, you know,
exactly.
because so much J. Jonah Jameson, the Bugle, is he's a menace. And so this is going to kind of lead to, yes, he's a menace, even though he's out there saving people, but he's a menace.
Look what he's doing. Look, he just picked up this car and threw it. Wearing the black suit, like in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that whole name drop thing. I also saw the director saying something about he would love to see what's his name, Craven.
Craven, yeah.
The Hunter.
Well, see, I know like Sony, the deal with Marvel and Sony is so weird. I've seen things of possibly doing a Craven movie, kind of like they did with Venom, and they got the Morbius movie coming out. But like, I don't know how you do Craven without Spider-Man. Like, who would be interested in just a Craven movie?
But again,
I don't get it.
You can't do
but
without Spider-Man. So I mean, they did that.
And they did it. But I think Craven coming in as a villain, it's going to work out perfectly because he's going to be shown as a menace and needs to be stopped. We need someone to hunt him down, and what better hunter than Craven?
Exactly. Yeah.
Again, several other ideas I got to go with that in the hunting down aspect, or and I was I told you in our last talk that I was expecting a Norman Osborn reveal, and didn't get that. I was disappointed, but I think what they did with the credit scene was awesome.
Yeah, truly, I think so too. And also I think they may do like, honestly, if Sony and Marvel want to keep doing the deal, which they'd be smart both to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're both making tons of money from it. I think they could do just like 3 trilogies if they wanted to. If Tom Holland was up for it.
Yeah.
Like a young trilogy, then like a 20s like trilogy where he's in his 20s. Then like the last trilogy when he's like the man, the Spider-Man. Like he's got to the full.
Maybe about to pass off the mask to someone else, and that's where they could introduce Miles Morales.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I know for the rights or the creative rights, the way it works, if the movie makes over $1 billion, Marvel will retain the rights. But if it doesn't make $1 billion, the rights to the third film will go to Sony. So let's hope it. I think it's like 700 million. So I think they'll get to that billion.
I think so
easily. So let them finish their vision.
If Captain Marvel can make $1 billion, I'm pretty sure Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm pretty sure. but yeah, I think they'll get $1 billion. I'm pretty sure.
It's crazy that's like the standard for a decent movie. Like you got to make $1 billion. Like because Logan and I, like I said, I told you last time, we've been on a MCU journey this summer, basically rewatching every film. There's only like a couple we hadn't seen, and he sat down one day and wrote down all the box office numbers for all of them. And like some of the best films didn't make $1 billion, but I think maybe Iron Man 3. I know Avengers made $1 billion or multi-billion, but like Iron Man 1 didn't make $1 billion, and I love that film. But again, that was the start of it all. So it was kind of cool to see how much money they've made off these films, and like now these most recent ones in the past 5 years, every one of them's making in the billions.
Yeah, well, you have to look at also like the marketing. The marketing was different at the time of Iron Man. They can market things different now since they're like so into the MCU, and you gotta look at the demographic that the people are like who's attracted to this type of superhero film, who's attracted to that, because it's more than just comic book fans. We're trying to get general audiences also.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think Spider-Man would do it because everybody knows Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's always a big draw.
Everybody knows Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. Those are like to me the main 3 people are gonna know is like those 3. Those are the big 3, and I think
I agree with that.
Any of those films are gonna make a lot of money, just because of the
name. Ideally, but sadly, DC kind of messed up those.
Well, it's only so. I mean, once the word gets out that the movie isn't as good as everybody thought it would be, is not much you can do. So
that is true.
I was gonna say something. I forgot what it was. Oh, about the $1 billion thing. People are now thinking that if you don't make $1 billion, it's like a failure. But like, if you made like $400 million and the budget was like 50 million, you succeeded. To me, like that's a big profit.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just that Marvel set the standard so high, and not everybody can do that. But
yeah,
let's see. Okay, so we talked about the mid-credit scene, right? But what about the after mid-credit scene?
Oh my goodness! That? Yeah, it was. I got so excited, like when the Maria Hill turned into that scroll. I immediately I turned to Logan. I said, "It's the secret invasion." and then Talos turned into, and then they were all friendly. I was like, "Nope, not the secret invasion." So it was a letdown in that point. But then when they showed the Nick Fury on the scroll ship or whatever, I immediately go to thinking, "Oh, this is awesome," and this is going to lead into the I guess the cosmic side to be able to connect the next big team up movie probably.
Yeah.
And on Earth they had SHIELD, and the Cosmic Defenders of Earth was always SWORD, which is an acronym for something. I don't know what it stands for. It's not Strategic Homeland. It's probably Strategic Worldwide, or I don't know. But so I look idiotic now. But I hope that plays into SWORD coming into play, because there's some good characters involved with that, and it's just another good callback to the comics. So I'm hoping that's what it is, and it's not just a throwaway scene.
Yeah, I think it was significant. I think it's an important reason why they showed that. And because they did say that Spider-Man: Far From Home is the last of the Phase 3 or 4. Is it Phase 3 or
4? Yeah. Phase 4.
Phase 4. It's the end of Phase 4, right?
Yeah.
So if it's the end, they got to tease for what's coming up next. Like what the next phase is going to kind of be about. And to me, what better way than to show that, to show like something like, okay, we're going to see something different in the next phase of the MCU. It's going to be a little more, galactic based, and have a lot of mystery to it apparently, because with the Skrulls, everything is a mystery. Who
exactly.
And I did want them to have it to be kind of like the Skrulls are kind of hostile now, because I want to see was it Secret Wars?
Secret Invasion, where they infiltrate Earth and take the places of other heroes, or Secret Wars is where they get like teleported to a weird place and battle each other.
No,
or something like that.
The one where like no one knows who's who, because like everybody's like a Skrull.
Yeah, I think that's Secret Invasion.
Yeah, I wanted to see something like that.
I had it too. Ever since they were first introduced, that's what I was expecting. Then they make the Skrulls the friendlies.
Yeah, that was.
But they did throw that little tidbit in the film, one of Nick Fury's first scenes, about the Kree sleeper cells on Earth. So maybe they're going to translate, instead of the Skrulls being the Secret Invasion, maybe the Kree. But I don't recall Kree having the ability to shapeshift or anything. Yeah. So it's going to be a little tougher for blue people or green people to, mix in with Earthlings.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a lot of they're going to like bring in a lot of the galactic stuff to the Earth stuff, a lot more than they did in the last phase, like the last 4 phases. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, huh?
I'm starting to doubt myself.
I think it is.
Did they complete 3? Yeah, I think it
3.
is. Yeah,
because
leading to 4.
Infinity War was in 3, so it didn't stop.
Yeah,
this is the end of 3. Spider-Man: Far From Home is the end of 3. So I think there's a reason why they put that at the end. Wait, did you just ask Logan?
Yeah, I was asking.
Does he just know it? Does he know everything?
I'll ask him. Logan, did they just finish up Phase 3 or Phase 4?
Finished Phase 3.
They finished up Phase 3. Okay, so we have confirmation.
Dang, your kid is smart.
I knew it didn't. He is. He's a brilliant little boy.
Dang, he got the facts pulled out. He's just like, he's like, let me check my encyclopedia.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Okay, so yeah, we're on Phase 3.
Yeah, we're going to Phase 4. That's what I was thinking of. We're going to Phase 4.
Yeah. So we got all these movies coming out, the Eternals.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi. Apparently they casted what's his name, Kumail Nanjiani or whatever his name is. He's like
in the Eternals.
Yeah, that the girl from Stranger Things is rumored to be in it.
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown, she's rumored to be in it. So
Selma Hayek.
Yeah, her too.
Angelina Jolie and Richard Madden. I think was he in Game of Thrones? Richard Madden?
Yeah, I think
Or is he from a?
I think that's.
Was that Rob Stark?
No, Rob Stark is. Actually, no, it is Rob Stark. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
He's a great actor, by the way.
Yeah, he
Great
is.
Actor.
I like Rob.
That'll be interesting. That's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know much about Shang-Chi and the Eternals, but it's MCU, so it's going to be a good film. They haven't made a bad.
No, and at the same time, we didn't know much about Guardians of the Galaxy. And
that is absolutely true. Yeah.
Yeah, Phase 4 is going to be interesting. Doctor Strange, Black Panther 2,
Black Widow,
Captain Marvel 2. Let's see.
So much hate.
Captain Marvel 2 would be better than Captain Marvel for sure, though.
I liked Captain Marvel 1. I mean, I know you didn't, but
I mean, it's not horrible. It's just it's to me, it's the most lackluster of them all. But it's close to Thor: The Dark World for me. But yeah. I mean, come on now. I mean, they explain Nick Fury's eye because a cat scratched him on the eye. That was like the worst thing.
Yeah, I didn't like that part.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So they built it up so much, and then it was
what film was that where he's like, what happened to your eye? And he's like, this is what happened last time I trusted someone, and so bringing that quote back to the film. Okay, you trusted that cat. You trusted a cat.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it could have been so epic the way that he lost his eye, and they just made it a joke.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that part about the film.
And the whole, like he named the Avengers after her like plane.
Yeah.
I didn't like that either. I don't know. There's just so much of that was going on. I just yeah. But I'm trying to think of anything else in the movie that we hadn't talked about yet.
Let's see. Oh, just the thought of like how long. Well, I figured it out just a couple of days ago. But how long Talos was Nick Fury? Like, has he been like Logan? Immediately when we left, was like, how long has he been Nick Fury? Is he the one that put together the Avengers? So like, you wonder how long. But I read something the other day that said Nick Fury was in Endgame, and then I'm sorry, kids are distracting. Nick Fury was in Endgame, and I guess he just needed a vacation after the death of Iron Man. Yeah. So I was kind of glad to see that.
I think that's most likely the case. I think it's the one that makes most sense. But at the same time, it's just like, what if what if Nick Fury never even knew like Iron Man or like?
Oh, I know, that would have been it'd be devastating almost.
It'd be really sad. Yeah, it'd be really sad because he wouldn't even be the Nick Fury we know, really.
Yeah, I agree.
But it is interesting. That changes a whole lot of things. And also, who else is a Skrull?
I know, that's another. I mean, obviously, like, is Maria Hill on that ship with Nick, the real Nick, or is she still on Earth and they're just portraying her another way? So that's kind of. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
Or even any superheroes, are Skrulls.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one who could be one. Yeah, any of them could be one.
Hawkeye
could be one.
Has always been a big theory in the MCU, being a Skrull.
Imagine Endgame if like Hawkeye was just he like, this has been really dark, but if he like committed suicide because his family died, and like the person that was actually him in the film was a Skrull.
Oh, and we lost Black Widow for a Skrull.
No,
that would be awful.
Yeah, that'd been horrible.
There's no way they'd do that.
Yeah, that'd have been horrible.
That'd be awful, though.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't write the movie because that'd have been horrible.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm
trying to think of.
You triggered something. I thought there for a second. I don't remember what it was.
There's something I know there's something I'm missing. Well, I mean, about the trip to Europe, I thought that was really cool. I thought it was like a nice little break for Peter, to have that whole thing going on in Europe, where he's like trying to get that necklace and all that stuff's happening in Venice, and he's like, oh no, I gotta it felt very Spider-Man. He was like, oh man, I can never catch a break, that kind of thing.
I love when he first runs into Mysterio. He's like, hey, I can help. I'm strong and I'm sticky.
Stay sticky. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff in the middle to me was really good. Well, I was gonna say something. I forgot. Like, I just lost my train of thought.
It happens, man. It happens. What'd you think of the Elementals?
Oh, the Elementals. Okay, so at first I was like, I knew they were gonna be fake. I just knew it.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way these things are real because of Mysterio. But I thought it was really interesting. I was like, they were real. I mean, I don't know. I was thinking, I was like, could Captain Marvel or Doctor Strange just like beat these things in like a second?
I would think they would be able to. They're pretty, Yeah. But like, you can punch through a wall. I mean, like, it's weird. Like, it's a big mass of water. You can't really punch through water, and it just reforms.
How do you stop water?
Exactly.
How do you?
I was going in. I was thinking, I guess one of two things. Well, I guess three. Three would be they're actually monsters, which I felt very that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, me too.
I was obviously thinking that they were going to be some type of creation of Mysterio because that's what he does in the comics, and that's how it kind of played out. And then I was thinking that it was going to be an actual callback to Hydro Man, Molten Man, and Sandman from the comics. Yeah. That it was going to be the actual man, quote air quotes here, man, and then just Mysterio has amplified them with his illusion power or whatever, and it was going to be the individual. They did make a cool callback in the film after the Hydro Monster attack that I think Flash pulled up on his phone and even used the actual Hydro Man from the comic book's name and said it was in a water experiment and turned into human, basically. So maybe Hydro Man really is out there.
I mean, I think Hydro Man's pretty cool if they do him right.
Yeah.
Like whenever in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoons, I remember he was in that. And I thought whenever he was on there, he's pretty interesting dealing because I was like, how does Spider-Man defeat this guy? Because
exactly, it's water.
He has webs, and the webs just go right through the water.
Yeah.
So he had to really think. He has to really think when you're taking on water, something that can like take the shape of anything. So I don't know. I thought it'd be really cool. Also, the other elementals like the Sandman. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, is that Sandman? But they could have Sandman later, but I don't think they're going to do that because they have said multiple times that they're going to try to do villains we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. And we certainly saw that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We saw it big time. We saw them all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was holding out hope. I knew Mysterio was going to be bad, but when they introduced when he said he was a multiverse, a part of me was like, man, I hope he's telling the truth and that there's actually a multiverse and that we're going to see, and I thought that's the way they could bring in the X-Men into the MCU easily. But sadly, that's a ruse.
Yeah, I really wanted an MCU like multiverse too because that'd been perfect to set up X-Men, right? Like Fantastic Four, you can do that without multiverse.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
MCU, you have mutants. It gets kind of messy once you introduce them.
So, no doubt.
Multiverse would actually be perfect, but you also got to remember. I mean, he wasn't lying, but there is a multiverse in a way.
That's true. Ancient One said that there is a multiverse.
Yeah. So
and then you got the quantum realm and all that. So
yeah, he was lying, but he wasn't lying.
Yeah, that's a good point. So maybe that'll still be a thing.
Yeah, I think it will. I think that's the only way they can introduce mutants. There's no other way.
Yeah, because they couldn't just be in hiding this whole time.
No way. I mean, that'd be like the greatest hideaway I've ever seen in my entire life. They could do that. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be multiverse. If there's any other way they do it, I'd be shocked because I can't think of anything else. Unless Kevin Feige is just like a genius and just, I don't know. Okay. So now we have to talk about Flash. Yeah, the new Flash. So you didn't like him, right?
No, I just don't like the way they're doing him. Granted, I know they're just the way they're doing Spider-Man in MCU is like basically not completely different from the comics, but vastly different. I don't like Flash because Flash is supposed to be the dumb jock, not a smart guy that's rich and a douchebag.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because I know you said something a minute ago that you could see Agent Venom spawning out of him. I just don't ever see Agent Venom being him, and that's what I think of. Like, I know they'll probably never do Agent Venom in the MCU, but I'm like, that's Flash. One day he becomes, So, what about you?
Okay, so I agree that personality-wise, there ain't no way he can be Venom. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
But I also do not like this version of Flash. I get why they're doing it because Peter Parker goes to this like artsy, really smart school where there's no dumb jocks anywhere.
That's true.
And
it makes sense.
Yeah, and they're talking about now, bullying isn't the same as it was back in the day. It's more verbal than it is physical. And that's why they're kind of doing like a modern take on it. But at the same time, the whole thing of Flash, the whole point of it is like Peter Parker gets beat up every day, and he could just destroy Flash if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But he has to choose not to, because with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh yes, definitely.
So I think that's a missed opportunity there to show something cool. But they're like, oh, we've seen it before, we do something different. So, I mean, I'm not like upset. It just bothers me a little bit. That's all.
I agree. That's a spot on take. Right before you said with great power, I was about to say it as you were saying it. So great minds think alike. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that could have been. They could have called him something different. That's Dan instead of Flash Thompson or something. Because there's a wealth of people that they could use from the rich history of Spider-Man. If just pull anybody out of the comics, like this is another one of Peter's classmates, or but they went Flash Thompson, and that's a good way to portray it with the bullying aspect. Because if you're at a ritzy or a fancy private school, the person that's probably going to be the biggest jerk to people is someone who's rich and think they're better than everybody. So it's a good way. It's a good tone on the character, but I just don't like
it. He's got his own little live streaming YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm in Europe now.
Flash mob.
But I think, all right, so the Agent Venom thing, I think there's only one reason why I think they possibly could do that.
Okay.
It all had to do with the very end of the movie, and it was when they went to the airport, and he said, "Where's Mom? Could she not make it?" And like his parents couldn't make it, like there, and there's no like. It was weird that they just showed that for no reason. Like there has to be a reason to show them like being upset that his parents didn't come.
It did seem like something. It did seem a little out of place. Like this is leading to something.
Yeah.
So
I think possibly, maybe in the future, him and Flash would be friends. And then when Venom pops up in Spider-Man 3, maybe, and he has that whole thing with Venom going on, and then later down the line, at the very end of Venom, at the very the end credit scene, Flash comes across like one of the
pieces of the symbiote.
Yes. And I think that's possible, and it could
that would be cool.
Flash can become a whole new character, like not the same kind of jerk. Like he's actually like a nice person, and with Venom, and he could be like, I mean, who knows? Maybe Eddie Brock won't even be the Venom we get. I mean, that's what they say if it crosses over, but I think it's possible. Maybe Eddie Brock they have a Venom 2 movie, and Eddie Brock chooses not to be Venom anymore, and he throws it away or something. I don't know. Like in Spider-Man 3, where he just he goes to the bell tower and just takes off all the symbiote with sound. I mean, I don't know. Anything's possible, but I think it is a possibility.
Yeah, I like that. I hadn't thought about it like that. Definitely could see something like that happening.
Yeah, that's the only way I can see it happening. But I don't know. But yeah, it's possible. But anyway, so you said you had some theories. I want to hear those theories.
Okay, I got several. Like immediately when I got out and I knew we were going to talk about this, I started writing down some things. With Spider-Man being the menace, now outed as Spider-Man's, killed the greatest hero in the world, Mysterio, has a satellite that could kill everybody. So people are going to want to obviously take him down. And what better person to take him down as in someone who buys the old Avengers Tower named Norman Osborn and realize, way to get his company into the public light or whatever is to take down Spider-Man. And the way that there's a couple angles you could go with it in terms of how they're going to take him down. It could be like the Spider Slayers, which are the robotic things. I know in one cartoon they were like, it was like a scorpion, a tarantula, and a Black Widow spider robot. Yeah. But also they're like, in some comic stuff, they're like actual robots, I guess. So either that, or that's where the Sinister Six could, be introduced. Because I know one of the prevailing theories that was out there for Far From Home was that the Dimitri guy that helped Nick Fury was supposedly Chameleon. Yeah. So I was expecting something to happen with that, and that didn't pay off. So, you already got Vulture introduced. You got Shocker. You got the Tinkerer. You got Mysterio. You got Matt Gargan, who turns into Scorpion. So you got 5 right there, and then Green Goblin could be 6 right there. So that's a way to do it. But I don't know if that's the route they want to go. I think it'd be, I don't know. I don't see the Sinister Six being brought in to take him down, so to speak. I feel like that would be more of a 4th film almost, because you need a kind of, because I don't see Vulture busting out of prison to take down Spider-Man, because he kind of ended on good terms with Spider-Man. Yeah. Now I do see the thing I would almost bet money on, the end credit scene on Homecoming was Matt Gargan running into Vulture in prison. Yeah, and that's going to be Scorpion. So maybe J. Jonah Jameson, who knows Spider-Man is a menace, because in the old Spider-Man cartoon, the one I grew up with and loved, even also in the comics too, J. Jonah Jameson funded the Scorpion suit or whatever that was grafted to Matt Gargan and kind of makes him go crazy and decides to kill Spider-Man. Yeah. So I'm hoping that happens, because Scorpion was always one of my favorite villains, and he is yet to be portrayed. And I think he's one of the coolest ones in terms of could go toe-to-toe with Spider-Man, because there's so many of them that, Mysterio and his illusions, Chameleon can change his face and all that stuff. But as in toe-to-toe fighting, both arachnids, I guess, is a Scorpion or arachnid? I don't know. I sound stupid now. It's an insect type thing. It may be. I'm a history teacher, not a science teacher. So, but I thought that would be a good way they go with the introduction of J. Jonah Jameson. Spider-Man's a menace. They need somebody to take him down, and that could lead to, Scorpion being funded. And I got a couple others, but I'll let you go first for another one before I start blurbing out more.
Okay, so you talk about Sinister Six, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get Sinister Six until it depends on what they're trying to do with Spider-Man. If they do like multiple trilogies with him, which I can see them doing that, because Tom Holland is like a money maker right now, and it's just going good. And it'll be a really satisfying thing to see Spider-Man like grow over time, like almost like Harry Potter. Yeah. And I think we'll get Sinister Six like in the second trilogy, like midway through. I think. Yeah. I think it has to build up over time. I think what's gonna happen in the Spider-Man 3, I think maybe Norman Osborn does show up and he funds like him and Mysterio. Mysterio comes back. He's funding like Mysterio, like giving him money to do stuff. Like he's doing what Tony Stark wouldn't do, and it was funding. Mysterio, giving him the funds to do what he wanted to do.
Right.
And causing stuff, against Spider-Man. And also, I think Venom could show up in a crossover, and it could be Venom and Mysterio. We could see them teaming up. Or maybe, I don't know, Venom's not even like, in the new Venom in the movie, he wasn't really that much of a villain. He was like an anti-hero.
Yeah, anti-hero. And that would play well into you need to hunt down this dude that killed the world's greatest hero. Yeah. So that's another one that I thought of with the anti-hero vibe, and but then that's gonna there's so many different angles you'd have to kind of go off of that, right? Because when Venom figures out, okay, Spider-Man's actually a hero, is he gonna stop fighting Spider-Man? Is he gonna debond with Eddie Brock and go to Spider-Man, become the black suit Spider-Man, or is Venom himself going to turn on to whoever was funding him to take out Spider-Man? So it's a lot of different ways you could go with that. It would be awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Venom will team up with Spider-Man by the end. I think Eddie
yeah.
Brock's gonna have like a major character change,
Hmm.
and if they do that, I think it'd be really interesting. They're both gonna team up against like Norman Osborn, and
Maybe Carnage.
that'd be really cool. Oh my gosh,
Because I know
let's
that
do that.
the post credit scene of Venom was that uh, Cletus, what's his name? I can't remember his
I have no idea
full
what his
name.
name is.
Carnage, basically. If the
Yeah.
character that turns into Carnage introduced him, Woody Harrelson portrayed him. So that'd be cool. I think I don't know if that'd be my number one hope for. Probably Scorpion. I'd rather see than Venom. And well, I don't know. 1 and 1A. But yeah, that would be pretty awesome to see that.
I don't think they're gonna do a bunch of villains right now. I think they're gonna do like maybe one or two, keeping it
Yeah.
kind of short until we get to like until they introduce a lot of villains over time. And I feel like
Yeah.
once they introduce a lot of villains and we know them, we kind of know them at this point, then the villains will team up and realize they all have an ultimate goal, which is to kill Spider-Man. It
Yeah.
won't be rushed like in Spider-Man 3 when they're just like, you want to kill the spider, I want to kill the spider, let's hit him. Kind of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, another thing that could go, you could have multiple, I guess, multiple groups. You could have the J. Jonah and the Scorpion trying to go get Spider-Man, but then you could have Kraven the Hunter come in on his own ambitions, wanting to, big game hunt right there and get the spider. Or, like you said, maybe the Venom team up with Osborn or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things they can do. It doesn't necessarily have to be boom, Sinister Six coming right in. Maybe it's multiple people. Maybe ends up getting a bounty put on Spider-Man to get him arrested or whatever, and then you could have people coming out of the woodwork basically, and it'd be a cool way to introduce a lot of other Spider-Man villains. But in kind of like a one-off, like, hey, here comes the Rhino trying to get him, but he quickly defeats him, and then or just a way to introduce multiple characters, and then kind of maybe in films following, they could bring that character back. He's made improvements on his technology or whatever, took some steroids or whatever they do.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think what makes the most sense for Spider-Man 3, the next film, is Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah.
I feel like you could do that, because I think about it, his name's out, and Kraven, the Kraven the Hunter is like, he's a bounty on his name now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody knows who he is. Everybody who hates him knows who he is. So I feel like Kraven would be the best choice for that, since the whole name's out. Honestly, though, I hope they do the what you said about Doctor Strange erasing everybody's memory. I hope they do that, because sorry, Spider-Man is not the same if he doesn't have a secret identity.
I agree. Because what's the purpose of wearing the cool mask if everybody knows you're Peter Parker?
Exactly. You can't just be like Superman where you wear glasses and all of a sudden nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Idiots.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome.
But
it's a way, let's see, it'll probably be a couple years before the sequel comes out anyway. But another way, obviously Peter Parker's going to have some things to answer to, and he's going to need a lawyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what better lawyer than Matt Murdock? So that's a way you could bring those Netflix, and I hope if they ever bring those into the real MCU, if they keep the same actors, because Charlie Cox is Daredevil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was leading to. Yeah. My bad. My bad.
What do you mean? He's like Daredevil's like, I don't know much about Daredevil. He's like
Okay, Daredevil is a lawyer by day.
He's a lawyer.
Vigilante by night. Yeah. Oh. He's a blind lawyer.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna start watching that show now. That's actually really interesting. I didn't know he was.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to think what season. I know season 1, season 3. He's really not a lawyer anymore. He's kind of gone through some stuff, and he's straight up just Daredevil all the time, basically.
Yeah.
But he can still practice law. He didn't lose his license. But I thought that would be a way you could bring in Daredevil, because in the comics so many times Daredevil and Spider-Man teamed up because they're both kind of not friendly neighborhood, but local people, not worldwide disaster kind of people, especially Daredevil dealing with Hell's Kitchen. So I thought it'd be a cool way. Daredevil comes up to him. I think you're going to need representation, and then they eventually kind of do a little team up like that. So I think the Daredevil dynamic would be good, because I know they have to wait like 2 years or 2 or 3 years. I can't remember what the specific deal is once they pull it off Netflix. So it'd probably time out just in time to be able to use him. And what better way to introduce him is, hey, Peter, you need some representation. I'm a lawyer. Here you go. And so he'd understand the vigilante aspects of it too. So
he could be like a new mentor for.
That's true. That is true. Also,
but also I don't want him to have a new mentor. Maybe just a friend. I think a friend.
Yeah, I agree.
But it'd be cool. I mean, for him to team up with Spider-Man, and like him be a lawyer first, and not even tell him that he's like a vigilante. Like,
oh yeah.
That'd be cool to see. Let's see. What other theories you got?
Last thing, like I know there was always talks, or there was a rumor, I guess I read about how they were talking about bringing in Falcon Captain America, Falcon Cap in to that last battle. So I'm wondering, it seems like they're gonna so far all the MCU Spider-Man have been team ups, with Iron Man, and then you have Nick Fury in this one / Mysterio at the beginning parts. So I'm wondering if they'll tie in another Avenger into it. This would be I don't think there's a ton of history with Hulk and Spider-Man working together, but maybe that would be another thing, because that in-game bonus scene that they did on the re-release, it looks like the Hulk has been a hero the whole time, and saving people from buildings and all that stuff. So maybe, I didn't go back to see it, but I read about it. Apparently, the graphics were horrendous. They said it looked like a video game, but and like the Hulk's mouth doesn't even move. But apparently, like there's a fire way up, and the fireman can't get it. So then you see something bust in, and then the Hulk comes out with the family in like a satellite dish or something, and then he gets a phone call from Cap wanting to meet. So that leads into where he's introduced in Endgame. So maybe that would give him another team up possibility with also a scientific mentor.
Yeah,
with the Hulk.
Yeah, I actually think the Hulk and Spider-Man would work really well. I also think Doctor Strange and Spider-Man could work really well too. If it could happen. Hulk and Spider-Man have a good relationship. I always like their relationship in the cartoons and stuff like that. And also Doctor Strange. So those two to me would fit perfectly. Doctor Strange is a little bit too overpowered though for a Spider-Man villain. I feel like Doctor Strange wouldn't have to worry about a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, it would have to be a Doctor Strange villain, I guess.
He would laugh at Mysterio.
Oh yeah,
he would just laugh.
No doubt,
bro. I can actually do it.
But other than, maybe like an Ant-Man and Wasp could trickle in there, because in Ant-Man and Wasp, the Sonny Birch guy was working for a benefactor. Yeah. Maybe that benefactor could be Norman Osborn, and that's how they all kind of connect or something like that. But it seems like that's the route they're going with Spider-Man, is having some type of callback to the MCU. So it seems like there's going to be another hero involved in it, whether it's a Daredevil or a former Avenger.
I think they'll keep doing that for this trilogy at least, and maybe when he gets older, he'll start being on his own a little more.
Yeah. Now I like the callbacks, because keeps you in that connected world good.
Yeah, true. I don't like it too much,
Yeah, because Spider-Man's normally a solo guy.
Yeah.
He fights the Sinister Six people against him, his one self. He doesn't really ever get help in the comics.
No, yeah. So I like him taking on stuff by himself, like having to figure it out for himself. That's always been a really cool, interesting part to me. So, so everything we had to talk about Spider-Man.
I think we got everything there with our theories.
I hope I think we pretty much said everything that could happen. I'm sure there's things that we haven't thought about yet.
Oh yeah. Oh, one other thing. I wish I could remember the article specifically, but I was looking at something that, I don't know if it was factual, but that last scene when Peter's going through the city and he goes through the construction area that's Avengers Tower,
Yeah.
There's supposedly a sign down there that's hinting to Fantastic Four.
Really?
I can't remember how specifically it goes, but it's I look like an idiot now. But it basically was hinting that was going to be Fantastic Four. Now, if that was real or if that was just something somebody made up is another story. I'm not real sure, but it seemed like a cool idea. That being the Baxter building, the home base for the Fantastic Four. So maybe they're setting up for that. Because Spider-Man always, he teamed up with the Fantastic Four a good bit. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I think he was a member at one point. The Future Foundation had that cool white and black suit.
Oh yeah. I think it's possible. I think I honestly think we'll get Fantastic Four sooner than later. I think that'll be one we get sooner. X-Men will be way away.
I agree.
But
they gotta distance themselves from the Dark Phoenix disaster.
Yeah. God. What a horrible end to, like. I mean, there's some great movies. So, like, Days of Future Past and Logan are some of my favorite comic book movies ever.
Oh yeah. And First Class, I love First Class.
Great too. Yeah. I
mean,
it's great.
Only thing I wish they would have like used the actual like Cyclops, Jean, Beast, Angel, and Iceman instead of that hodgepodge of people they got. But it was still a really cool film, even with that complaint.
Yeah, I mean, they're all great films. I think Days of Future Past to me is like, I mean, it meant a lot to me at the time, and it's still, whenever I watch it, it's they did it very well. And Logan is just like, Logan's a whole different thing. It's like, it's good in a different way than Days of Future Past is good. But Dark Phoenix is like, it just ended on a horrible note. I mean, what a horrible way to end a franchise.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
I had high hopes for it, but sadly.
But I mean, MCU, they'll do it right, I guess. They can do a lot of different stuff with it, and
I just hope they give them actual costumes. And not black rubber suits.
But I mean, yeah, they're gonna have to change them a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean they'll find a way. They may. I mean, think about Spider-Man suits, blue and red. You know, I mean, you can make that look good. You can basically make anything work in there. I don't know. Yellow spandex will be tough, but
yeah, I mean, okay, that Wolverine suit. It looks like if they do the yellow spandex, it's gonna look really cheesy. So yeah, I think the yellow spandex. I don't think I could see that working in the MCU, like the Wolverine suit, with the big helmet thing on his face.
Yeah.
But I think what?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that there's ways they can make it look really cool, like they did with Vulture. Vulture in the comics looked absolutely horrible, but like they made him look pretty cool, and in Homecoming he looked pretty cool. So I think there's ways they could do Wolverine to make to keep it kind of original, but make it look a little cooler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now I know, like one of the we may have mentioned this last time in one of the Wolverine movie deleted scenes had him receiving that package, and that would have looked. I feel like that would have looked awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I couldn't see Hugh Jackman's.
Not Hugh Jackman.
He would never wear that.
No. I'd love to see it though.
Yeah, that'd been cool though. It did look pretty cool. I think it'd be something like that almost in a way. Yeah. But I mean, there's so many ways they can do it, and I think the MCU will pay homage to what X-Men like truly are.
Yeah. They've always done a good. The MCU has done a good job with the costume designs.
Oh yeah.
So they will definitely figure a way to make these are the X-Men.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think so too. Definitely. Yeah, I think. Oh, you're talking about Fantastic Four, right? The building.
Yeah.
And being there, I think that is a good possibility. I hadn't seen it. I had to watch it again, but I think.
Yeah, I got to look at that article because it made it seem pretty clear. I just can't. There was like a sign on a gate that said something, and it was like maybe 1, 2, 3, and it was missing the 4 or something. I can't remember how it went. I look idiotic. I'm gonna look it up while we're talking. Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool to see. I mean, like I don't know if they're gonna have a connection to Spider-Man. I mean, I'm sure they will. They live in the same city, so I think we'll see like teases of Spider-Man here and there. Maybe he'll like show up, or maybe they'll show up in his movies, vice versa. I mean, there's so many directions they can go with all these characters. I mean, there's so many possibilities now. And,
I agree. So. And we know that they can come together easily because when you could bring the Guardians and the Avengers all together and it flows in perfect harmony, basically, I have no doubt they'll be able to integrate them easily.
Yeah, I think so too.
And supposedly, let's see. Okay, here's what it's. I'm sorry. There's a sign that says, the words on it says, we can't wait to show you what comes next. And it says, then you can see the following 1-2-3 question mark. Okay. So that's what it said.
Wait.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a sign that says, we can't wait to show you what comes next. 1-2-3 question mark. So maybe that's what comes next for, obviously. So.
Well, I mean, that sounded like to me Faithful.
Oh, that makes more sense.
You know, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Yeah.
That's what
I know this.
I thought it was gonna be like a sign with a symbol, fantastic. Like.
Oh yeah, that would have been better. Yeah. Or Oscorp or something.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly the San Diego Comic Con's this weekend, and Marvel's got a big panel going. So hopefully we'll get a reveal of some of the things coming ahead. I think back to the one a couple years ago when they basically showed the map for all the upcoming films and just the Infinity War and and all that stuff. So hopefully it's going to be something big like that, and to get us jacked up for the next 4 years or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to show the movies for like the next couple of years. So it's gonna be interesting to see. It's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting.
I think we both have a pretty good idea what it's going to be between the Eternal, Shang-Chi, and then the sequels.
Yeah, the sequels. There could be one surprise one maybe we haven't thought about yet. I don't know. It's possible.
I'm up for it. I know all those years ago when they did that big reveal, there was plans for an Inhumans movie, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, no.
Instead, it was a terrible TV show.
Yeah.
Sadly, that didn't happen.
Okay, so I think we talked about everything we can talk about, like in Spider-Man, the MCU. There's one thing we didn't get to talk about last time, and I know you want to talk about it. The future of DC. We talked about that for a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what there's to talk about mainly, except like what you thought about Shazam, Aquaman, like the new lighter tone of the DC.
Yeah.
Universe. What do you think?
The thing is, like, DC has always been a little more gritty and more, I guess, adult, and not playing for the kids as much. Like, when you look back to Batman, even the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman movies, they were wonderful. And then you have the Christopher Nolan ones, they were amazing. No one ever complained about them. Yeah. I think they just tried to play catch up too quick instead of setting it up. I thought Man of Steel was a good movie, even though a lot of people didn't like it. Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I agree. And they rushed the whole building the Justice League up so quickly. It's like movie. Yeah, I know. And like Batman and Superman, I was so jacked up for it. And like it had wonderful parts of the movie. Like those parts that some of the best comic book movies ever are in that film. But it also has some of the worst, the Martha and Doomsday and just some stuff didn't make sense. It was very rushed. Yeah, well, exactly. Just say Martha to Batman and he freaks out. But I don't know. It's gonna be tough not to keep that in continuity because it makes it seem like everything I've read that it seems like they don't want to do another Superman movie with Henry Cavill. They don't want, they've already recast Batman, and so like they've obviously had a success with Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman. They got the Wonder Woman sequel already coming out. Yeah. So are they building on from there after Justice League? So like, are we ever going to see a Justice League movie again? Is it going to be Robert Pattinson Batman? How is that? Is he going to be in a different multiverse, different part of the multiverse? So it's kind of a mess, honestly.
Yeah, it's a big mess.
I mean, I love Marvel, but growing up, there was more DC stuff available for me in terms of cartoons and stuff I had access to. And my dad gave me a bunch of his old comics too, so I always had a deep love for DC. And just to see it being kind of screwed up, it sucks because they have such a wide array of characters that are equal to, if not some, are greater than the Marvel characters that are there. Like Dr. Fate's one of my favorite characters, and he's the Doctor Strange version of DC. And you got Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, one's the coolest one ever. Then of course, Superman and Batman. So there's just so many different awesome characters that they have. They just need to take their time and don't try and just rush to it all at once. I don't know how they're going to not have an older Batman in a new Justice League unless they go with like a Dick Grayson Batman.
Yeah.
But it just don't seem right to do that. They got their work cut out for them. And another thing, I don't know why Aquaman was such a huge success. And I was honestly pretty shocked by it because it's Aquaman and he's normally just a punchline. Yeah. But why they don't have a sequel already going for that, like starting to film like tomorrow? Because like just they wait so long in between their movies, it loses some of its momentum, I think. Now, granted, Shazam did real well as well, but I feel like they need the superhero movie trend is, it may not last forever,
I mean,
they need to strike while the iron is hot.
We're in the greatness right now.
Yeah, the golden age of it.
But in terms of like DC, I mean, I don't know, I wasn't a fan of Batman vs Superman, and I wasn't a fan of Justice League that much. But I actually really liked Wonder Woman, and I loved Aquaman, how different it was, and like it I don't know, it was a very different film, and like the way it was shot, and I loved, what's his name? Oh God, I forgot his name.
Shazam?
No, not. I'm talking about Aquaman. The guy who played Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, yeah, him. I loved him as Aquaman. I loved everything about that film a lot. It's really different, and just I really enjoyed it. And then Shazam came along, and to me, I think Shazam was the best one out of all of them. Just because, I mean, Shazam is that kind of character. He is kind of a funny, I guess, kind of character.
Yeah.
He used to be Captain Marvel back in the day.
Yeah.
Now we got a new Captain Marvel. But
he's Captain Sprockle Fingers now.
yeah. But I mean, there was some hints of darkness in Shazam. I mean, it was bringing like light over a dark kind of atmosphere, I guess.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, and like the end credit scene to Shazam. I don't know if spoilers if you haven't seen it. But they bring that Mr. Mind in there, the pillar, and that was kind of dark. I mean, there's dark things in there, the 7 deadly sins, and they're already doing a Black Adam movie with The Rock,
Yeah, they've been talking about that for feels like 10 years.
Yeah,
they need to The Rock is just so dang busy with everything. He just needs to take a break and go do Black Adam.
Yeah,
and because I think that'd be pretty awesome.
I don't know. I think. And the new Wonder Woman is set in the 80s. It's gonna
right.
Be, yeah. So this gonna be a prequel. So I think what they're trying to do right now is I think they're just trying to focus on solo movies for right now, and not worry about Justice League or anything like that. Don't even worry about that. They're making a Flash movie, and they were having some problems with that because what's his name? The guy who plays Flash.
Ezra.
Yeah,
what's his name? Ezra.
Yeah. He didn't like the script, so he said he didn't want to do it. The script was like, because I think he wanted to make the script more lighthearted. Because he felt it was too serious for a Flash movie, and they didn't think so. The director didn't think so, and like they were having some trouble with that. And I think now.
Well, the thing is, like the way they take the Flash, the Barry Allen Flash is more a serious Flash. The more playful Flash is the Wally West version, which they should have made him the Wally West because he's a little more playful, kind of like in the Justice League cartoon, the Justice League Unlimited, that kind of character. Now, easy way that they could kind of fix everything is by doing a Flashpoint. You know anything about the Flashpoint comic series?
Isn't that where he turns back time or something?
Yeah, he goes back in time and he saves his mom, and it basically screws up the entire existence of the world. Superman is instead of being gotten by the Kents, he's trapped in a government facility. You got the Atlanteans and Amazons or three basically. Cyborg is the greatest hero. Bruce Wayne died in an alley, and Thomas Wayne is Batman. Whoa. So it's pretty cool. So they could do that. And that could fix, like, you could get rid of Ben Affleck that way.
Yeah.
Just bring back and like, he's younger Batman for some reason. And they're just like, oh, well, that's just what happens. So.
What do you think about Robert Pattinson, like the new Batman movie? What do you think about that?
I really haven't seen anything other than the first Twilight movie with him in it. I was very skeptical every time they cast the Batman, honestly. Like even back when it was first, Michael Keaton was my Batman. Then they brought in Val Kilmer, and I immediately went out and watched Tombstone, which is like one of the best movies ever. And I was like, and I was a young kid watching Tombstone, so looking back, probably not a great idea, parents. But I was like, okay, I'm good with this. Then George Clooney comes, and then that wasn't good. But but as a kid, I loved it.
Yeah.
But looking back now, it's a terrible movie. But so I'm always skeptical every time they have a new Batman, because it's like he is probably the, if not the best comic book character ever, maybe top two. So I'm gonna hold out hope that he's gonna do a good job. There really hasn't been just an atrocious Batman.
I mean, I don't know. Batman and Robin was pretty atrocious.
The film, yes, was atrocious, but like the way George Clooney portrayed Batman in like the Bruce Wayne persona was pretty good. His Batman persona wasn't great.
I mean, I don't know that line. I mean, what do you say? Hey, Freeze, I'm Batman.
Yeah, that wasn't good. Yeah, it's not good. But surely it can't be that bad. I don't know. I think he'll do pretty good. I'm just glad they didn't get the dude that plays Beast in X-Men.
I don't think
that was the other guy up for it. I would have been.
He's a great actor, but I don't think he'd be a good Batman.
Yeah, he's not Batman. He's skin and bones.
But yeah. Okay, so I actually really love the casting of Robert Pattinson as Batman, because I mean he's done some other work. He's first of all, if you know Robert Pattinson, you watch his interviews, he hates Twilight. Like he
really?
Like he hated being in it. Like I don't know, he just hated the whole thing. And but everybody always thinks of him as a Twilight guy, right? But like if you watch his other stuff that he's done after that, like he did a lot of indie films, a lot of different stuff. And he's in like different ranges of characters. And he did his last film, I think, was was Good Time. If you haven't seen that, you want to see what he's like acting, like his peak. You should watch that movie, because I mean he becomes a whole other person. I mean it's completely different than what he does in Twilight. He has so much range as an actor.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, he has so much range that I believe that he could be Batman easily. I honestly really could. I mean, I think he could play both parts really well. Bruce Wayne.
Of the candidates that they had out, I was glad they chose him.
Yeah, I think he'll be good. And plus, he'll bulk up a get a little.
Oh yeah, they all do. Yeah.
I mean,
think back to Chris Pratt. Pratt was Andy Dwyer, and then he turns into the Star Lord.
Yeah. And also you gotta remember who's directing this movie. I don't know if you know, but Christopher Reeves is directing it.
Yeah.
Do you know who Christopher Reeves is? The guy.
The director. Yeah, the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, those movies to me were fantastic. So I mean, him holding a Batman movie, like directing it, writing it. I mean, I'm excited for it. I mean, there's no reason why I wouldn't be. And also, he said it's going to be more of a noir Batman. There's going to be like a kind of more of a detective side of him.
Yeah, instead of the techie side.
Yeah,
I saw that too. I like that.
Yeah, and also I heard Penguin may be in it.
Yeah,
Penguin. So.
What? Sure.
I heard a little bit.
Having a parent.
Oh yeah, you always gotta deal with like.
Yeah.
Dad, what are you doing?
Yeah. But I think that they got it going in the right direction. I just don't know when. Like Logan asked me a couple weeks ago, when they're gonna do another Justice League. I was like, sadly, I don't know, son.
It may never happen.
Yeah.
It's like the Tales of Old. It's like I don't know, son.
Now,
one day.
One thing I think, if they would have done the true Zack Snyder vision for the Justice League, I think would have been better. So there's a big petition out there for them to release the Snyder cut. So maybe if they ever do that, it'll make more sense. Supposedly it does.
There's theories that it doesn't exist.
But yeah,
and there's like theories
I've seen that too.
So it's like, does it really exist? Like, I don't know.
I gotta hold out hope, man. I'm a believer, so I gotta believe that it does.
Maybe 10 years from now we'll see like the lost tapes, the Snyder cut. I mean, I would love to see it, because I mean I think he would have had a better vision.
Yeah.
But I mean, look
at
Watchmen.
Josh Whedon screwed it up.
I mean, Watchmen.
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, Watchmen and Man of Steel are his best like things I think he's done.
Yeah, Watchmen's a cool movie.
Yeah, it's really, I love it a lot. It's very different.
Have you?
What?
I was gonna say, have you seen any of the Watchmen on HBO yet?
No, I haven't seen that.
I haven't caught it either. But that can lead us to our next topic on HBO.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Segue.
Speaking of HBO, all right. This has already happened like a long time ago. We're kind of late.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's always fun to talk about because it was a big thing when it happened. Game of Thrones. So if you don't know what Game of Thrones is, I mean, you're like one of the few people. Well, there's a lot of people that actually haven't seen it because they don't have HBO, or they're like, oh, it's just a porno, blah blah. But it's more than a porno, I assure you. So Game of Thrones. I don't know how to say this, but I never saw it until about last month when like a couple weeks before it had its last episode, and I used my brother's HBO account. And
nice.
And I watched all the show, 8 seasons in about a week and a half. And,
wow.
Yeah, and it was the best week of my life. And I mean, not the best week, one of the best weeks of my life. One of the best times I ever had watching that show. And I don't know if that's a testament to how good the show is, or it's just a testament to how horrible my life is. But
I'm gonna go with great show. It's a great show, man.
But it was great. I enjoyed every bit of it except towards the end. But I mean, I don't know how else to talk about this. Let's just get into the finale.
Well, my Game of Thrones sounds a lot like yours. I didn't start watching it until like right before this the final season aired, like the summer before. All the coaches had talked about how wonderful it was, and like, oh, you'll love it, Dice. There's all kinds of fighting and stuff. And I'm like, okay. So I checked it out, and they were right. I loved it. It was such good storytelling, strong characters. It's a real flawless show for the most part, up until the ending.
Oh my god.
So you go ahead.
So let's go ahead and talk about the finale. What do you think of just season 8 overall? What do you think of season 8?
It was too short. It was a little rushed. I know, like the first episode, like nothing happens. Basically, it's just kind of setting the stage for the Battle of Winterfell, if I'm recalling correctly. Or was that Battle of Winterfell was what episode? Episode 2, episode 3? 3. Okay, so those first 2 episodes were just kind of getting you ready. And I understand why they did it. You kind of have to do that. The Battle of Winterfell was epic. It was awesome. But only thing is, like, there wasn't enough people that died. I mean,
Exactly.
I just, the way it, like, Jamie,
he should have died
all of
battle.
them, and Samwise was underneath a horde of them.
What is he doing in there?
Like, I don't know. And Brienne of Tarth was trapped against a wall. Like, God. did those guys just like, we're just going to hold her against the wall here. We're not going to eat her, kill her, or turn her. We're just going to hold her here so she can't kill anybody else. So I don't know. I don't get that. I mean, I'm glad now. In the aftermath, I was like, oh, I'm glad multiple people survived. But then I got to thinking about it. More people should have died, I mean, it's just, the odds were so against them. I mean, like, there was no way. I love Jon Snow is my favorite character. Probably, a ton of people's favorite character. Right, so. But that music when the Night King is heading to go to kill Bran is awesome. I immediately went out and found that song and downloaded it. Yeah. But so I'll be doing my milk route listening to that. But when Arya jumps and he catches her and she drops that blade down and gets him, I was like, oh!
I will admit that was
watching
epic.
It late at night. Late at night after my kids were asleep. I was like, yeah! I was like, oh, I gotta be quiet. But that was awesome. Again, I wish the death toll would have been a little more. Yeah. A little more. But I love that episode. Then, if it's about to go down with Cersei, when she kills Missandei, I was like, oh, that look on Daenerys' face. I was like, it is not gonna be good. She's about to burn y'all up. And she did. Daenerys kind of took a turn there. It was kind of expected.
It was definitely expected,
you kind of think all along from her journey for all the seasons that she's the kind-hearted princess that's going to rule. But she had that in her all along. I mean, she burned people left and right, and could be fierce. So I wasn't too surprised that it happened. but at such a grand scale, it was still a little. I was still a little shocked that she actually did it. I didn't expect that to happen. It was awesome because I was glad to see. I didn't want the Greyjoy dude to take down another dragon, but it was good. I was all good with that as well. But that last episode, man, that did not do it for me. Yeah. I disliked a lot of it. Obviously, Bran being the king was the stupidest thing they could have possibly done, I think.
I mean,
it just didn't make sense. Like, okay, Jon just killed Daenerys. He just stands there and waits. And then we time jump. How long did we time jump? No one tells us.
Yeah.
And now they're taking advice from another prisoner that this is what we should do. We should do a democracy. Why doesn't all these other places claim they want to be a sovereign or whatever the North did? They want to be their own kingdom. A lot of it didn't make any sense. It's like they said, let's just wrap this up right here because we're ready to go home. And none of it, I'm not going to say no, 90% of it didn't work. The Jon being exiled back to the Wall, seeing Ghost again in Tormund, I was really wanting Jon to be on the Iron Throne, but seeing him get to go back to the North, that was probably the only finality that I liked a little bit.
Sense of him going to the Wall.
It did. And, traveling back to the North, it was a good play back to the, just making it go full circle, basically. So I kind of like that. And Arya going off on her own was pretty cool. I didn't like when Arya bounced during, instead of going after Cersei.
Yeah, and what was the point of that?
I know. I was like, dude, her whole thing has been to kill Cersei, and she just sprints off. I don't know. There's so many theories that I'd read going into it that I was just hoping were going to happen. Like one of my favorite ones I read was, I'm trying to think. Basically, Jon had been killed or something like that, and Sam had betrayed him. I can't remember how it went, but basically, Sam was kneeling in front of Daenerys, and she kills him, whatever. Or he asks the question, and she gives the quote, "A man has no face or has no name," and it was going to be Arya disguised as Daenerys.
Been so cool.
That would have been epic. And then another one I saw that would have been awesome. Obviously, Drogo's pissed off that that Daenerys died. So one thing I saw that Jon was on trial, and then Drogo comes flying in and just burns the hell out of him, And then as the flames subside, it's just Jon there standing there naked because his clothes get burned off, and it's revealed he's a Targaryen. God. That would have been awesome too.
I mean, but Drogo's dead.
Drogo?
Yeah.
Did I say the wrong dragon?
No. You mean is it
Drogon? Yeah, Drogon.
I think you may call Drogo.
No.
I was like,
Drogon.
Where did he just come from?
No, it's my bad. I misspoke. Freudian slip.
Well, yeah, that'd been cool.
Yeah.
The Khal Drogo thing would have been like a parody, but but the dragon thing, I see that being pretty cool.
Yeah, that would have been awesome to see. But just Bran on the throne. Even like anybody but Bran would have been better. Like even Tyrion said, "Is there no one with a better story or something?" Like, yeah, literally everybody has a better story than him. Put Sansa on the throne. Put not Sam, but anybody other than Bran.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you think about it, the dude was basically absent for a whole season.
Oh my God, yeah.
So let's make him the king. I don't know. I don't get it. So, what's your thoughts?
Okay, so, I agree with you on pretty much most of everything you said. Starting with the beginning of season 8. I actually think the first 2 episodes are the best episodes of the entire season. I truly believe that because they were letting it build, and they were having characters have character moments. That moment where Brienne Tarth gets knighted by Jaime is to me one of my favorite moments of the whole season. It was so much going on, some great character moments. I was so hyped for the Battle of Winterfell, and when it finally came, it was great in terms of like grand scale, although you couldn't really see anything that much.
Yeah, having not a great choice, I guess.
Yeah. But it was still cool anyway. The graphics, everything, and how.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I gotta tell you, I was upset that a lot of people didn't die either. I mean, there was literally everybody else dying around them, but the main somehow all survived. Sam should have died. I'm sorry. I know he had to be alive to write that book, but come on now. There's no way he can just stand out there without even a weapon and just survive.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Brienne, I think it's okay she survived because that was pretty cool, her writing the book about Jaime and stuff. That was pretty sweet. But I think Jaime should have died because his character arc was fulfilled when he decided.
He dies a hero then.
Yeah,
you know?
when he decided to do that. But then when he goes back to Cersei, I just hated that so much because it like negated his whole character for me, like what his whole arc. And I don't know, I feel like he should have died in that battle. I also think maybe Bran should have died. There's a theory. There's somebody who rewrote the whole entire episode that made it way better, and it was like Bran is actually the night the Night King.
Yeah,
he actually is the Night King. Like, what happens is like I forgot he goes like back in that time, and as he's like back in that time, one of those children like stab him through the heart, and he becomes the Night King. So it's really like the Night King is actually him or something like that. It was like really wacky, but it would have been
that would have been much better. Yeah, that would have been much better. They really made they killed him too easily almost too.
Yeah, I'm saying like he didn't.
It was awesome the way that she did it, but
I mean, I like Theon's. I like his death. I thought it was a pretty good death. I mean, it was pretty.
I agree.
Honestly, though, I actually would have preferred maybe that he would have killed the Night King because I think it would have been more of a redemption for him. In a way.
Right.
But I mean, he still had a pretty redeeming arc.
Oh yeah, he fought off a horde of them basically. Yeah. I like the Arya killing because it goes with that prophecy.
Yeah.
I just wish she would have finished it and getting the green-eyed.
Yeah, like there's one.
Yeah, green-eyed.
Pair I was missing from that. What? Like,
yeah.
Were they just not going to do anything about that? Like.
Yes, I was disappointed.
Yeah, I thought one of my favorite characters is the Hound, and I liked.
Oh yeah.
I liked his thing in the season. I mean, he was pretty cool with him and Arya talking and stuff. Another thing in that battle though that really bothered me was how stupid everyone was. Like, you know how Tyrion, right? He's usually the smartest one in the room. I mean, he just like was making the worst decisions, and him and Sansa decided to hide in that little tomb thing where there's dead people.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
That's it was such a stupid idea. I don't know. It just didn't feel. It didn't feel like the characters were acting like themselves almost sometimes. And like, they decided to make all the what do you call it, the people that ride on horses and stuff.
Dothraki.
Yeah, the Dothraki. They decided to make them go out into the dark and just basically commit suicide.
Well, they had flaming swords. So,
that's true. I mean... But still, I mean, I don't know. It was just like their whole like position and everything. It just felt really off on how they would actually like strategize in a way. And
I think the 6 episodes is what hurt the show. And supposedly, it was the actors that wanted it to be 6 episodes just to get it done. The writers and directors wanted to go longer, but it came down to what the actors wanted. Is what I read. Now, granted, is that a fact? Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. Well, because the writers, what's their name? I forgot their name. But anyway, they're writing the next Star Wars trilogy, and
didn't know that.
Supposedly, people think that they just want to go ahead and get on with Star Wars. But also, it was told that HBO was actually allowing them to. They wanted them to do 10 episodes, or actually, they were even allowed them to do like a couple more seasons, and they said no. Like they turned it down. Like the writers turned it down. That's all the reports I've seen, and that made me really upset because I'm like, you easily could have done even like 2 more seasons out of that one. This one season could have been like 2 10-episode seasons at least.
Yeah.
There's so much material there. They rushed it just completely. This whole season could have just been about the Night King. Like it could have just been about facing.
Well, the way
north, you know?
the battle at Winterfell, it had to happen quick. I knew that was going to happen just because the way the previous season ended, they had bust down the wall, and the wall is not too terribly far from Winterfell, so there was no choice but to do that pretty early on in the season. Mm-hmm. And with it only being 6 episodes, like you really just had to wrap everything up so quickly. If it had been at least 8 to 10, they still could have wrapped up this season in a more profound manner. Even having the Battle of Winterfell in episode 3 like that, then it could have gone with the ramification of who's going to rule Westeros now. So then you could have gone into more levels of how that was going to be, not just the way it came out. And then if they kept it the same way of, Cersei dying, Daenerys coming to the throne, getting murdered, then you could go, all right, after her murder, what's next? Instead of the stupid sanction of 8 people and say, let's have a democracy, basically, or Sam talking about a democracy.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So many different things they could have done to make it way better.
At least 10 episodes, man. What is wrong with them? Anyway.
Yeah, they did us wrong.
I agree with you, man. The music, though, during that was like, dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, dun. That was pretty epic. I have to say. I enjoyed that a lot. That was epic. That was, I mean, in terms of like way it was shot and everything, I mean, perfectly shot. I mean, everything to me was like, cinematography.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, just incredible. I never seen anything like it in a TV show ever. I mean, it's absolutely insane that I was watching that in the TV series. I mean, it just the writing was not good.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of Daenerys' whole story arc, so I don't disagree with anything that happened at all. Like, even the brand thing, I'm not even mad about that. The only thing that I'm mad about is how rushed it was and how, like, because I feel like if they actually would have took the time and had, like, even, like, 2 seasons or even, like, had 10 episodes, they could have, like, slowed it out and showed you a little more that she was going a little more insane each time. But she just turned so quickly. I mean, it just felt so rushed. I mean, like...
Well, it did. It was rushed. I agree. But when you look at what she lost in such a short amount of time, she lost her another dragon, then she lost her best friend basically, and she had just lost her best protector. So losing 3 key members of her life in such a quick span is probably what did it. So again, I agree it was rushed, but it kind of made sense when you look at it in the losing Mormont, Dragon, and then Missandei.
But I mean, if you look at like other characters, like Arya, Jon, they lost a lot. They lost their father. I mean, Joffrey did a lot of things with Sansa, but you don't see them like massacring children with fire.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
But I don't know. It made sense. I wasn't even mad at it. I was just like, it just felt like it was all happening so fast, and I was just like, they needed to build it up a little more, so it felt like, wow, like this actually got to this point. You know what I'm saying? Like the other seasons did. They did that. The other season did that very well, where it's like they were building it up, and then at the 9th episode, it would always be like something crazy happening.
Yeah.
And I felt like I don't know. It could have been a lot more epic if it was just paced out a lot better, I think.
I agree. And it was rumored that each episode was going to be like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Yeah. And that wasn't the case at all. The first 3 or 4 were only like its regular time length. So if they would have had longer episodes for those 6 episodes, that would have helped it as well. I think it just needed more time is I think the common thing that we're going to. Needed more time to flesh out the story and the character arcs.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like there's also some things I didn't like that happened in there. Like, to me, the worst thing that happened by far was Cersei and Jaime's death. That to me, that was the dumbest decision in that entire episode and probably the entire season. Just because, first of all, it was way too poetic for Cersei.
I wanted her to suffer.
Well, exactly, and also she just stood there and watched as Daenerys just burned everything, and I feel like she would have had the upper hand somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least
I know she's a very conniving, plotting person. I mean, he wasn't prepared for that.
Look what she did in season 6 when she like blowed up that church. That thing. It was genius, and I don't know. It didn't feel like her. It was just weird. The whole thing just felt kind of off. It was really weird.
Yeah, that was it.
I saw this thing with this guy. He rewrote what would have happened for him, and he rewrote it in a way. And if you don't know his channel, his name is Hello Future Me. He does a lot of writing videos about how he would have rewritten a lot of shows, movies, and like he has tips on writing different kinds of stories. But he rewrote this part of the story where basically Cersei was the one to blow up the city instead of Daenerys.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Daenerys wasn't gonna blow it up, but Cersei planted bombs everywhere in the city, just like the Mad King did. And you know how Jaime killed the Mad King, right? You know, like for
right.
that. And see, Jaime came back to stop Cersei, and she wouldn't do it. She was no way she was gonna stop. So what Jaime does, and this completes his character arc, is that he kills Cersei and the baby to save the life of everybody.
Wow!
And like, imagine how powerful that would have been.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been crazy. But they didn't do that. They went with like this, I don't know, it was kind of weird. Like, oh, Jaime, we'll die together. I don't know. It was such a weird thing for me.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that at all. I multiple people of us watched the Game of Thrones at school, so we'd always get together to talk about it each Monday.
Yeah.
And like, I was like beating the drum for it. Jamie's going to be the one to kill Cersei. So it just, that's certainly one of the disappointments of the season.
Well, probably my most disappointing thing for me that happened. And also, you know, we talk about the aftermath. I had a lot of theories about what was going to happen to Daenerys and everything. See, this is my first theory I had. My first theory was that there was going to be like a Red Wedding 2.0, where like, I don't know, there was going to be some kind of event happening, and then Arya is like there right next to Daenerys, and like she plans this whole mass murder of like all these people, and kills Daenerys. I thought that was going to be one of them. I thought Sansa was going to be kind of like the head of it too. You know, because Sansa's learned a lot from Cersei when she was there with Cersei.
Oh yeah,
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So she knows how to manipulate. Okay, like Sansa's not stupid. She's actually a really good. I actually ended up liking her a lot by the end. But,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought something like that was gonna happen. I also thought maybe Bran would have took the mind of Drogon. You know, like take his mind over.
Yeah.
And burn Daenerys. Imagine that. I mean, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a lot of things going on in my mind, and when it finally happened, I was just upset that Arya didn't even really do much. She just kind of went there and left, and you know, I was happy with the way that the Hound ended, because he's one of my favorite characters. I absolutely love the Hound.
Yeah, he had a good story arc.
I love the way he ended up. Him and his brother both died in the fire and everything. You know, he is kind of symbolic because he was burnt. You know, his brother burned him and stuff. But
yeah.
They burned together, and I thought, you know, it would have been really cool. You know how, like, in season 4, when you thought the Hound died, and he asked Arya to give him mercy to kill him. Arya didn't do it because she didn't like him, and she didn't. You know, he was on her list. But see, now, I mean, I feel like it would have been really cool as if like the Hound had killed his brother, and he was dying out, bleeding out, about to die. And he says, "Please, you know, Arya, like do it." And then Arya actually does it, and like,
oh yeah, that would have been better.
That would have been so cool. I mean, like, think about the full circleness of that. Like,
so many different things could have been so much better.
I mean, so much better. Now, I will say, I actually kind of like Bran being king.
Oh,
like,
gosh.
Look. Okay,
Bran, I'll hear you out.
Absolutely worst character in the entire series by far. Yeah. Bran is the worst. Every time he comes on, I just want to skip the scenes because it's just that bad. But it does make sense for him to be king, I think. When Tyrion was talking about it and about how, you know, I mean, we need someone who doesn't have like an agenda in a way. You know, Bran doesn't have an agenda, and he can see the future kind of, and he can't really see the future, but he can, like, you know what I mean? Like, he knows certain things,
right,
about everything. Basically, he's basically a history book, a living history book, and I think it makes sense to use him, you know, as a king. But it's also like a democracy in a way that it's not just him; it's Tyrion also, like, you know, doing things mostly and different things. But I will say, you know, I mean, I understand why people will be upset. When it first happened, when they said Bran was king, because I read spoilers, and it was a rumor that was going to happen, and I was like, no way. I thought it was like a joke. I was like, there's no way Bran's going to be king. Then it happened, and I screamed. I was like, no, please don't. And, and I learned that it was okay. I mean, like, I understand why he's king, and I'm not really that mad. But I think there are some better choices, maybe Sansa. But see, Sansa wouldn't want to be the hand of the throne because she wants the North to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wants to unite the North. So I think that makes sense for Sansa. I actually thought the best choice would have been what's that dude's name? He was the son of Robert Baratheon,
Gimli.
No, Gimli's the dwarf of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, God. It's gosh, what's his name? It sounds like that. Gendry.
Yes, Gendry.
I was close.
You were close. Yeah, Gendry. I thought he would have been actually a really good fit. Think about it. He's actually he has the name, and he's earned it. I mean, I feel like he hasn't done a bad thing. He's a good person. I don't know. I feel like he would have been a good king. So
I was really rooting hard for John. Just
I was too.
It just would have been too happy of an ending. I guess.
First of all, I don't think John actually wanted it. I mean, his real name is Targaryen, but
he's a Stark.
He's a Stark. There's no way. I can't see him like being happy ruling. I don't think he would be happy doing that. I think the most happiest he would be is being with the North folk. That's who he is.
Yeah, King of the North.
King of the North. I feel like
he's always my King of the North.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like that's his happy ending is being with the North. Now, when they said you go into the Night's Watch, I was like, no, okay, hold on. First of all, the wall is destroyed. Okay, they don't need a Night's Watch.
Yeah, there's nothing out there to watch anymore.
Exactly. So when
the wildlings are either dead or in the watch already.
Exactly.
And then all the walkers are dead.
So when they said that, I was just like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Why would you send them to the wall? But then once I saw them going like past the wall and with the North people, the North folk, I was happy. I was like, it's a happy ending for Jon.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Jon Snow belongs being free and away from all that political mess.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that was a good ending for him. I think Arya had a pretty good ending. Her heading west. I actually think that's going to be like the new show, like the spinoff they're going to do. I feel like it's going to be Arya heading, what is it, west? I think she said, because no one knows what's past that point. So
what's west? What's west of us? Or
what's west of Westeros? That's what she said.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be interesting to see her. Now Sansa was pretty good. It was a pretty good ending for her. I think they were all right. I mean, it was okay endings, but what made it not as good was how rushed it was. And, like literally in the episode, Jon kills Daenerys so fast. Like he kills her. You there?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Make sure. He kills her so fast to the point where it's just like he's in prison, he gets out, he kills her. No, wait, no, he's not in prison. Never mind. I said that completely wrong.
He kills her prison, and then they ship him to the wall.
He kills her like that. Like he makes the decision so fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like it was just crazy to me. Like usually an episode or even like that would have happened in the regular seasons. They would have done that probably like episode 6, 5. And like for a couple episodes, it's just showing like what they like after he kills him, like what are we gonna do about this, blah, 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 like, or even it building up to him killing her. Like I feel like it would have been a decision he would have to really think about. And he made it. I don't know. It all happened really fast. I feel like if it would have been paced out a lot more, it would have been a lot more of an impact on us instead of it being kind of a joke.
I agree with you. I think that's the big problem with all of it was the rushness of that final season. Just doing it in 6 short or 6 regular length episodes, basically. I know there was, I think 3 of them were maybe an hour and a half or close to that, but you probably needed let's see, probably 12 hours worth, so or 10 to 12 hours worth to tell the story properly. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I completely
agree. But overall, I still give it high marks. It's a good show, but when you think about it, what great shows have ended with a season finale that everybody liked? You look at. Oh, see, I don't know that. I was like, I was gonna
by far.
Real.
It was gonna be this one, but then when they ended it with the crap season finale, it didn't make the mark for me. But I'm telling you, like Avatar, like people think about it and they're just like, oh, it's a Nickelodeon animation. I'm telling you, best story. It's only like 3 seasons. It's about like 30 minutes each episode. Best. Mm-hmm. Like you can ask anybody that has watched it, that never said anything bad about it. And the season finale to me is the most satisfying season finale like ever. I mean,
wow.
you have that, and you have Breaking Bad was pretty satisfying too. Game of Thrones would have been probably to me the best if it would have stuck the landing, but it didn't stick the landing. So
yeah, it was a crash.
It goes second, which is still pretty good. I mean, in its prime, it was Game of Thrones was. I mean, I ain't never seen anything like it.
Oh yeah, it was head and shoulders above any kind of television program up until that final season.
Yeah. I mean, what was your favorite season?
Oh, man, there's just so many good ones. It's hard to pick just one. I know that what season was it had the Battle of the Bastards?
Oh, season 6.
Season 6, I think that one's probably my favorite one.
That's mine too.
That was awesome.
So that's your pick?
Yeah, I think I'd go probably season 6.
Yeah, I that's mine too. I think the Battle of the Bastards to me is my favorite episode of all Game of Thrones by far. The whole leading up to that point where it was like, Jon united the North together, getting the North together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, see, I haven't seen the show in forever now. I forget everybody.
I know, yeah.
The jerk, I hated him so much. He was the worst person. He was worse than Cersei.
The Boltons.
Yeah, the Boltons. Ramsay Bolton. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, to get everybody together. Like, I first of all, I was like, this is gonna be so epic if he gets everybody together. Then he got everybody together, and then that battle just happened. And I when I first watched it, I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that was like that wasn't TV caliber stuff. That was movie stuff. I
agree.
I haven't seen stuff like that since Lord of the Rings. Literally, like the battles like that. Like the horses were flying in the air. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, and then the Arya stuff was really cool. Her trained, to be a faceless person.
Yeah.
The man has many faces. That was great. I love that.
Pretty awesome.
That whole season was great, and there was no Bran. I don't think was it, or
was that the Bran?
No, I think Bran was season 5 was when he was in.
Okay, actually, that was a good season too.
Season 5 was all right for me.
Nah, I was just saying that because you said no Bran.
Yeah. But I mean, the stuff with Bran in season 6 actually wasn't that bad because at the very end with Hodor, you know what I'm talking about? Hold the door. That hit me. That hit me.
I agree. Okay.
That hit me, man. That was one of the best parts
Hodor.
of all Game of Thrones to me was that. The whole. Oh man, that was great writing. I don't know what happened.
That was. I agree.
But that was.
I got tired.
That was some greatness right there. I'll never forget that. So I mean, I think season 6 to me is just the most epic. If I had to say another one though that is actually close to that, would be season 4.
Yeah, which one was season 4? They all kind of bleed together for me.
Okay, season 4 is when Tyrion kills his dad.
Okay.
The mountain kills that Viper dude. I mean that
was pretty cool. Yeah.
And he kills Shay. You remember Shay?
Yeah.
He kills her. God, that was so sad too when he killed her. So many things happened in that season too. Yeah, that was a season of Tyrion for me. But that was a great season. I love that season a lot. It had a lot of epic things happening, but it was more political than season 6. The things that happened were more political. But there's shocking moments nonetheless. And also, what did you think of the earlier seasons? What did you think about season
4? Like season 1 kind of started off a little slow at first.
Yeah.
But I was like, everybody says it's amazing, so let me just watch it. It kind of, there was parts of it that lagged on, but then there was parts that were, so awesome. The shockingness that some of it was, the killing of Ned Stark.
Oh,
like how do you do that? That dude's the lead character. The best character on the show. His capital was dictated. So it gets you. Like even in episode 1, it's kind of going a little slow, and then at the end when Jamie pushes Bran out the window, you're like,
that got me.
This has got me.
It had me very interested after he got pushed down. I will say that.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the incest was like, I was like, okay, this show is different.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one.
But that, history-wise, that was a thing that was there. You had, some of the famous ruling families like the Hohenzollerns. They died out because of incest, basically.
Yeah, and if there's anything I learned from your classes is that there's some weird people in history, man.
Yeah,
I mean, Catherine the Great. I mean, horses. I mean, come on now.
I'm glad that stuck with you.
Yeah, that's one of the main things I remember too from your classes. Catherine the Great.
They're gonna do. I don't know if it's HBO or Showtime, but they're coming out with a Catherine the Great show. Man. And I think Helen Mirren is Catherine the Great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have to watch that now. Since I know what happens. I have to watch
well, that was a rumor. That was not true. Remember?
True. It was a rumor. I don't think she actually died from doing a horse.
She died of stroke.
Yeah, but still, I wonder how they're gonna handle that.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm anxious to see that.
Me too. I'm gonna watch that for sure. But yeah, that was one of the things that got me was like how different it was and how like it wasn't pulling any punches.
Yeah.
At all.
Nothing like that's been on TV before, basically.
Oh no. I mean, Game of Thrones is like revolutionary in terms of TV. I mean, we never seen anything like that ever. Also, another thing, season 3. You remember the Red Wedding?
Oh, yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, I've always heard of it, but when it actually happened, that was crazy. That was. I can't even.
When that went down, and then you almost thought it was something happy was about to happen.
Yeah.
Because that's Arya and the Hound. It was arriving there right about that time, and she was going to get back with her mother. But no, it did not.
It was so close to getting to her mother, and her mother got her throat slit. Like
still one of the best parts of the entire show.
Oh my god!
Was when she gets her revenge on the Frey family.
In season 6, it was at the beginning of season 6. Yeah, that's another thing that made season 6 so good was that too. When she's like, tell what she said.
Winter's coming.
Winter came.
Winter came earlier or something like that.
Come for House Frey, and I was like, oh, he said Winter came and is coming for House Frey. I was like, oh.
That was awesome.
That was crazy.
Now, is it season 7? I guess. Yeah, I think it's season 7 when the John and them traveled to try and capture and then the dragon dies and they drag him out of the water.
Yeah.
And he, one of the last scenes is his eye turns blue and you're just like, oh boy, this is going to end poorly. This ain't going to be good.
I actually like that
awesome
episode.
Too.
Season 7 that's one of my favorites. For me. It was kind of all right. It had some miss moments, but also had some good moments.
Yeah.
It's better than season 8 for me, but
yeah.
I like that episode when they go beyond the wall and like not Drogon, but the other dragon.
Is it Viserion, or Rhaegar, or what is it? I can't remember the names of those dragons.
I don't remember. I only know Drogon.
Yeah.
But I think season 3, season 4, and season 6 were to me the best. Season 2 was pretty good. It was alright. Look, season 1 through 4 to me was just a masterpiece. Season 5 was okay. Season 6 to me was the best. Season 7 was alright, and then season 8 was just horrible.
Yeah. I think we're pretty close to the same agreements on this. Yeah. Great show though. Overall,
great show. At its peak was one of the best. The best. Yeah. Avatar to me is still the best show ever. Represent Avatar. I mean, if you haven't seen that show, you gotta watch it.
I have not seen it.
If I watch Daredevil, you gotta watch Avatar.
Okay, is it on Netflix?
It is not on Netflix.
Okay.
But you can find some websites.
Okay, all right. If you watch Daredevil, I'll try to watch some of that. You got to make it quick though, because once August hits, my TV watching significantly goes down.
That's very true. Okay, all right.
Like I said, I finished up I finished up Stranger Things in 2 days the other day. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What episodes is
it? Season 3 is 8 episodes, I think. So, yeah, 2 days work though.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. But it was a good show. It was a good watch.
I'm gonna start watching that too. After Daredevil, I watched Daredevil first. I'll watch the first episode tonight. I'll watch the first episode tonight and get into it.
I'm trying to think because season 1 kind of starts off a little slow. I wish I could remember. It's been so long since I watched season 1. what episode the big hallway fight is. It's gonna just get you jacked.
You said the choreography was pretty good. So.
Oh yeah. You will like it. I do not think you will be disappointed in Daredevil.
All right, I trust you. I'm gonna get into it tonight.
Now, just spoiler alert. In season 1, he doesn't wear the Daredevil suit until the last episode.
I'm okay with that as long as it builds up to that point.
It does. I'm okay now, season 2, he has the suit like the whole time, and he's pretty awesome. He has the Punisher and Elektra in it. Season 1 villain is Kingpin, who is Vincent D'Onofrio. How do you say his last name? D'Onofrio. He's awesome though. He's in season 3 also. But that is I would love for him to play Kingpin in the MCU. Because in the cartoon and the old cartoon, Kingpin was a big prominent villain of Spider-Man's.
Oh yeah.
So I would love to see him portray the Kingpin against Spider-Man.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But he does it masterful
like that.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Sadly.
But,
now they you'll notice in season 1 they'll talk about I can't remember what they call it. They talk about the battle in New York. Basically, you see like some newspaper headlines that talks about the battle in New York. So it's showing that it's set in that same universe.
Okay.
But I think you'll like it. Let me know what you think after.
All right, I'll let you know what I think. I watched the first episode, maybe second if I'm like really feeling it. And when you watch Avatar, make sure the episodes are 30 minutes long each. It's like the first season is 20 episodes. But
that's a lot.
Yeah, but it's 30 minutes each, so it's really like 10.
Okay.
It's really like 10 out, like 10. It's like a season of Game of Thrones, basically. The first season. But a lot of the first season is going to be a lot of it's a lot of side adventures where they do different things. It's not really it's kind of the overall story is in the background a little bit, and it's more showing like the characters interacting with each other and doing different things. But it's still interesting enough. It's a little on the happy side. It's things haven't gotten that dark yet, and until you get to about the last 2 episodes of the season where it's just like it shows you like how dark it's gonna get, and then once you get to season 2. It's gonna get like freaking amazing. It's gonna like season 1's pretty good. It's alright. It's pretty good. Season 2 is like freaking amazing. Probably the best season. Then it has like 12 episodes. It's not that long. And then when you get to season 3 is my favorite. But I don't know if it's the best. It's consistent. It's not. I don't think it's as consistent. But it has my favorite episodes in it. Especially the best episode by far is the finale. The finale is like to me the greatest finale of all finales. Like it's that good. Yeah,
you're certainly giving it some high praise. So I'll try to find it somewhere online.
Okay, I'm not even worried about like hyping it up too much. It's gonna live up to it. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it if you just get past the first season and like really get into the characters. Second season, third season is gonna be amazing for you. So I don't doubt it one bit.
Well, I will try to find it.
All right.
If I find it, I don't know.
That's good. All right. Is there anything else we missed?
No, man. I think we got everything. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it again.
Thanks for coming on. We had a lot of good discussions.
Yeah, I agree. We share some same thoughts, and even when we disagree, we hear each other out.
Gave some rants.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we do it again before the summer's out. Talk about see what comes out of the Comic-Con and see what leads to the future of the MCU or anything. That's gonna
be fun. We're gonna have a long discussion about that.
Yeah. But again, I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
Had a good time, man. Yeah.
All right, I had too. Yeah. So that is the Beyond The Banter Podcast. If you enjoyed, stick around. I'll probably cut these up into different sections, and that way you don't have to listen through like all of it if you want to listen to just certain parts like Game of Thrones or MCU stuff. That is the Beyond The Banter Podcast, and I'll see you later, Coach Dice.
See you, Chase. Thank you, buddy.
See you.